I want to say a few words about a very bizarre story in the Talmud, in Tractate Megillah, which describes how a certain sage named Rabbah tried to make a Purim feast with his colleague Rav Zeira, and ended up, after drinking, cutting the neck of Rav Zeira. After which he prayed, so it heals, and the next time he invited Rav Zeira, he refused to come back, saying that he doesn't want to hope for another miracle. This story obviously requires some kind of explanation, and there have been already many explanations offered, but I think I can also add my 2 cents. I have an interesting explanation based on the idea that possibly what Rabbah was trying to do is a trick, a kind of illusion, the types that you find various people doing in circuses, for instance. In general, there is a question in the Jewish law, in Halacha, if it's permitted to do these types of illusions. For instance, many people used to do this during weddings. Maybe they still do. I haven't seen it in any wedding, but I know it's written in the books that some people used to come to a wedding and make these types of performances, the magical, right, magicians kind of performances. Now, some sages said that it's completely forbidden for a Jew to do that. But others said that under certain circumstances, if it's announced that this is not real magic, we know it's not really magic, it's just a trick, and that anybody could learn it in theory, then it might be permitted. And I'm assuming that at least during Purim time, when we find lots of things that are permitted during Purim, which are generally forbidden throughout the year, that maybe Rabbah wanted to show this type of a quote-unquote magic trick on Rav Zeira. Now, most of these types of tricks are done in a way that a person does a very quick move with his hands, and the people watching do not realize what is happening. So it may look like, for instance, he cut somebody's head off, whereas in reality he put some red liquid there that would look like blood, and he used a kind of knife, for instance, that can be moved under the sleeve or something like that, or the actual sharp part can somehow be hidden. All kinds of things like that are used. But the idea is it has to be done quickly and nobody notices what actually happened. So assuming Rabbah was trying to show on Rav Zeira how this type of magic slaughtering happens, but because he drank too much, he wasn't able to do the trick correctly. He moved his hand incorrectly and actually cut the neck of Rav Zeira. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean he killed Rav Zeira. The son of Harambam, Maimonides' son, Rabbi Avraham ben Harambam, wrote in his explanation to Agadah that he must have made a wound on his neck. He didn't actually kill him, but that alone already was probably dangerous. And that's why next time Rav Zeira, in fact, didn't want this type of thing ever repeated and didn't come to him a second time. If you like this video, please press like.